The rain fell in silver threads across the Kang estate that November evening. A woman in worn shoes walked toward the iron gates, her small daughter clutching her hand. Neither looked back. But from the third-floor balcony, a young man stood motionless. His white shirt clung to his skin as rain soaked through. His knuckles whitened against the marble railing. He watched the little girl pause at the gate. She turned. Their eyes met through the downpour. Her lips moved silently. A goodbye he couldn't hear. Then she disappeared into the darkness. Kang Minute-jun made a promise that night. He would find her again. No matter how long it took. No matter what it cost him. 9 years later, he kept that promise. Before we continue this story, I'd love to hear from you. What are you feeling right now after that opening scene? Drop a comment below and tell me which country you're watching from. What do you think happened that night? And what do you think will happen when they finally meet again? Please like, share, and subscribe. 9 years later. Seoul glittered beneath a steel-gray sky. The Four Seasons Hotel ballroom buzzed with Korea's wealthiest elite. Crystal chandeliers scattered light across designer gowns and tailored suits. Champagne flowed. Laughter echoed. The annual Seoul Architecture and Design Gala drew the world's finest creative minds. But tonight, something different filled the air. Anticipation. Everyone whispered about the mysterious international designer who had been personally requested for the city's most ambitious luxury project. No one knew her face. No one knew her story. Not yet. Mia Bello stood outside the gilded entrance. Her fingers trembled slightly against her clutch. She had built her career in London, Paris, and Lagos. She had designed penthouses for oil magnates, restored heritage buildings for European royalty, and created sanctuaries for those who valued beauty over everything else. But Seoul was different. Seoul was where her heart had broken. Seoul was where her mother had cried herself to sleep every night. Seoul was where they had been thrown away like garbage. She straightened her spine. Her burgundy gown hugged her frame with quiet elegance. Her natural hair was styled in a sleek updo that showcased her graceful neck. A single pendant rested against her collarbone. A pendant she had never removed. Not once in 9 years. The ballroom doors opened. Mia stepped inside. Conversations paused. Heads turned. She felt their eyes immediately. Scanning. Judging. Calculating. A beautiful black woman in a sea of Korean elite. The whispers began instantly. Who is she? Must be someone's guest. Foreign, obviously. Perhaps an entertainer? Mia kept her expression serene. She had learned long ago that dignity was its own armor. Across the room, a silver-haired woman squinted. Mrs. Park Jin-hee, matriarch of one of Seoul's oldest chaebol families. Her eyes narrowed. Wait, she murmured to her companion. That face. Her companion leaned closer. Do you recognize her? Mrs. Park's lips curled. The maid's daughter. The words spread like poison. Within minutes, the whispers changed. The maid's daughter. From the Kang estate. The one who disappeared. How dare she return? Mia felt the shift in the room. The warmth evaporated. The smiles became tight. The glances became hostile. She understood. Seoul remembered. They remembered her mother scrubbing floors until her hands cracked. They remembered a little girl who wore second-hand dresses and ate alone in the kitchen. They remembered the night the Kang family dismissed them without explanation. They remembered everything. And they would never let her forget. A young woman approached. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Excuse me. Her voice dripped false politeness. I think you may be in the wrong place. The staff entrance is around the back. Mia met her gaze calmly. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. The woman's smile flickered. And you are? Mia Bello. She extended her hand gracefully. Principal architect for the Han River Cultural Center project. The woman's face went pale. You're the designer? I am. Silence rippled outward. The room recalculated. Meanwhile, a convoy of black vehicles pulled up outside the hotel. The lead car's door opened. A polished Italian leather shoe touched the pavement. Then another. Security personnel materialized instantly, forming a protective corridor. Hotel staff rushed forward, bowing repeatedly. The man who emerged moved with predatory grace. Kang Minute-jun. His charcoal bryony suit fit like a second skin. His dark hair was swept back, revealing the sharp angles of his face. His expression betrayed nothing. But beneath his collar, a serpent tattoo coiled upward. The Black Serpent. Chairman of Kang Industries by day. ruler of Korea's most powerful underground organization by night. At 36, he controlled an empire built on blood and brilliance. He feared nothing. Except one thing. Forgetting her face. His second-in-command, Park Jae-sung, walked beside him. "Sir, the gala committee is eager to greet you." Minute Jun said nothing. He never did. His silence was legendary. It had broken stronger men than those waiting inside. Also, Jae-sung continued, "The international designer arrived. The one you personally requested for the Han River project." Minute Jun's stride didn't falter. But something flickered in his chest. He had reviewed the firm's portfolio. Impressive work. Anonymous principal designer. International credentials. Based in London. Something about it had called to him. He couldn't explain why. The ballroom doors opened for him. Conversations died. Everyone bowed. Minute Jun walked through the parted crowd like a blade through silk. His presence commanded complete attention. Complete silence. Complete submission. He acknowledged no one. His eyes swept the room with cold efficiency. Then stopped. Across the ballroom. Burgundy gown. Dark skin glowing under chandelier light. A single pendant against her collarbone. His heart stopped. Mia felt a shift in the air. The temperature seemed to drop. She turned slowly. And there he was. Kang Minute Jun. Older now. Harder. More dangerous than her memories. But unmistakably him. The boy who had given her that pendant. The boy who had taught her to read Korean poetry. The boy who had promised her everything. The boy who had let her disappear without a word. Their eyes met across the room. 9 years collapsed into nothing. She saw the boy on the balcony. He saw the girl at the gate. The rain. The goodbye. The silence that followed. Everything. Minute Jun's jaw tightened. His hand closed at his side, tattooed knuckles whitening. It was her. It was really her. Mia. The moment stretched. Neither moved. Neither breathed. The entire ballroom seemed to fade into insignificance. Only they existed. Only this impossible moment. Then someone stepped between them. A tall Korean man with an easy smile and expensive watch. Choi Se-hyun. Heir to Choi Shipping. Known playboy. Known rival of the Kang family. Miss Bello. He extended his hand charmingly. "I've been hoping to meet you all evening. Your work in Lagos was extraordinary. The Heritage Museum? Stunning." Mia blinked, breaking the spell. "Thank you," she said quietly. "May I steal you for a drink? I'd love to discuss a project." She hesitated. Then nodded. Anything to escape those eyes. Minute Jun watched her walk away on another man's arm. His expression remained frozen. But inside, something cracked. 9 years. 9 years of searching. 9 years of silence. She was finally here. And she had looked at him like he was a stranger. No. Was. Like he was an enemy. "Sir." Jae-sung appeared beside him. "The committee." "Later." One word. "Final." Jae-sung nodded and stepped back. Minute Jun's gaze followed Mia across the room. Every step she took. Every smile she offered Choi Se-hyun. Every second she spent looking anywhere but at him. He watched it all. And something dark and possessive stirred in his chest. Later that evening. The gala's program began. A representative from the city's development committee took the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're honored to announce the lead design team for Seoul's most ambitious cultural project. Please welcome Miss Mia Bello of Bello International Design." Applause filled the room. Mia walked to the podium. Her hands were steady. Her voice clear. "Thank you for this honor. The Han River Cultural Center will be a bridge between worlds, honoring Korea's heritage while embracing global perspectives." She spoke beautifully. Confidently. Like a woman who had conquered her demons. But Minute Jun saw through it. He saw the slight tremor in her fingers. He saw the way she avoided looking at the left side of the room. Where he stood. Where he had always stood. Watching her. Waiting. The applause ended. Mia descended from the stage. And walked directly toward the terrace doors. She needed air. She needed space. She needed to be anywhere he wasn't. The terrace overlooked Seoul's glittering skyline. Cold November air bit at her skin. She gripped the railing and closed her eyes. "Why here? Why now? Why him? You came back." His voice. Deep. Quiet. Unchanged. Mia's eyes snapped open. He stood 3 feet behind her. His presence filled the entire terrace. His collar was slightly open. The serpent tattoo peeked above his shirt. She had heard the rumors over the years. The Black Serpent. The most feared man in Korea's underworld. She hadn't believed it. Looking at him now, she believed every word. "I'm here for work," she said carefully. "Nothing else." "You're wearing it." Her hand flew to the pendant instinctively. His eyes tracked the movement. "After everything," he said slowly, "you still wear it." "It's just jewelry." "No." He stepped closer. "It isn't." Mia felt her heart hammering. "Stay away from me, Chairman Kang." The formal address cut through the air. Something flickered across his face. Pain? Anger? Both? "You disappeared." His voice dropped. "No goodbye. No letter. Nothing. Your family made sure of that." "What?" "Don't pretend you didn't know." Her voice shook despite herself. "Don't pretend you weren't part of it." "Part of what?" She laughed bitterly. "They threw us out in the middle of the night. My mother was given 2 hours to pack our lives. They said if she ever returned to Seoul, they would destroy her completely." Minute Jun went still. "That's not possible." "I was there." Tears burned her eyes. "I remember every word. Every threat. Every humiliation." "Who?" His voice was dangerously quiet now. "Who said those things?" "Your mother." The words hung between them. Minute Jun's expression didn't change. But his tattooed hand trembled slightly. "My mother told me you and your mother left voluntarily. That you wanted a fresh start. That you asked for money and disappeared." "That's a lie." "I know that now." Mia shook her head. "It doesn't matter. It was 9 years ago. We both survived." "Survived?" He stepped closer still. "I spent 9 years searching for you. I spent millions. I sent investigators across 4 continents. Every trace of you was erased. Like you never existed." Her breath caught. "You searched. Did you think I would just forget you?" She stared at him. The boy she remembered would have done anything for her. But that boy had become this man. This cold, dangerous, powerful man. "The boy I knew," she whispered, "died that night in the rain." "No." His hand reached toward her face, then stopped, hovering inches from her cheek. "He's standing right here." He never stopped looking. He never stopped waiting. A tear escaped down her cheek. "I can't do this." She turned to leave. His hand caught her wrist. Gently. But unmovably. "Mia." The way he said her name shattered something inside her. "Let me go." "I let you go once. I've regretted it every day since. This isn't a fairy tale. We aren't those children anymore." "No." His thumb brushed across her pulse point. "We're more." The terrace doors opened. Choi Se-hyun stepped out. "Miss Bello? They're looking for you inside." Minute Jun released her wrist. But his eyes never left her face. "We're not finished." "Yes." She stepped back. "We are." She walked past Se-hyun without looking back. Se-hyun glanced between them. "Old friends?" Minute Jun's gaze turned to him. Cold. Deadly. "Stay away from her." Se-hyun smiled lazily. "Is that a threat, Chairman Kang?" "It's a promise." 3 days later. Mia sat in her temporary office overlooking the Han River. Design blueprints covered every surface. Her team worked quietly around her. But she couldn't focus. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw him. His eyes. His voice. His hand on her wrist. He never stopped looking. The words haunted her. For 9 years, she had believed he abandoned her. For 9 years, she had carried that betrayal like a stone in her chest. Now everything she believed was crumbling. Her assistant knocked. "Miss Bello? Your 3 o'clock is here." Mia frowned. "I didn't schedule a 3 o'clock. He said you would say that. He also said you cannot avoid him forever." Her heart sank. "Send him in." Kang Minute Jun walked through the door. Today he wore a dark navy suit. No tie. His collar opened just enough to reveal the serpent tattoo curling along his neck. He moved like a predator. Controlled. Silent. Aware of every shadow in the room. "Miss Bello." "Chairman Kang. Your staff is very loyal. They're professionals. They're terrified of me." A ghost of amusement crossed his face. "That's wise." Mia stood from her desk. "Why are you here?" "The Han River Project. I'm the primary investor." Her blood ran cold. "What?" Kang Industries is funding 70% of the development. Which means. He sat down uninvited. We'll be working together closely. That's not, I wasn't told. The committee felt my involvement might complicate your decision to accept the project. They were right. Mia gripped the edge of her desk. I'll withdraw from the project. You won't. You don't get to tell me. This project will define your career internationally. You've worked 15-hour days for 7 years to reach this moment. You're not walking away because of me. She stared at him. He stared back. I know everything about your career, Mia. Every project. Every award. Every struggle. I've watched you build yourself from nothing into something extraordinary. I won't let you throw that away. Her voice cracked. Then stay away from me. I can't. Why? He leaned forward. Because I lost you once. I won't survive losing you again. Silence stretched between them. Heavy. Loaded. Impossible. Her assistant's voice came through the intercom. Miss Bello? Mr. Choi Si-hyun is here for your site visit. Mia exhaled. Send him in. Minute Jun's expression darkened. Soo-hyun entered with easy confidence. Mia. Ready to go? I've arranged lunch after. He noticed Minute Jun Chairman Kang. Twice in 1 week. Should I be flattered? You should be careful. Of what? Minute Jun rose slowly. He buttoned his suit jacket. His tattooed knuckles caught the light. Of overstepping. Soo-hyun's smile tightened. Miss Bello accepted my invitation. Nothing inappropriate about colleagues sharing a meal. She's not your colleague. Then what is she to you, Chairman? The room went cold. Mia stepped between them. Enough. Both of you. She grabbed her coat and bag. Mr. Choi, let's go. Chairman Kang, I assume we'll meet at the next project review. She walked out without waiting for either man's response. In the elevator. Soo-hyun studied her. History between you two. Ancient history. Doesn't look ancient to me. Mia said nothing. Meanwhile, Minute Jun watched from her office window as Mia's car pulled away. Soo-hyun beside her. His jaw tightened. His phone rang. Sir. Jae-sung's voice. We have information on the night Mia and her mother disappeared. Send it. It's worse than you thought. Send it anyway. That night. Minute Jun sat alone in his penthouse study. A glass of untouched whiskey beside him. The file spread across his desk. 9 years ago. His mother had hired investigators to dig into Mia's family. They discovered Mia's mother, Grace Bello, had been educated at one of Lagos's finest universities. She came from a respected family that had lost everything during political upheaval. Grace had come to Korea looking for work. She found employment at the Kang estate. And her daughter, bright, gentle, curious, had caught young Minute Jun's attention. His mother saw a threat. Not to the family name. But to her ambitions for her son. She wanted an arranged marriage. She wanted alliances with other chaebol families. She wanted control. The file contained copies of the threats made to Grace Bello. Threats of violence. Threats of deportation. Threats against her daughter's future. There was more. A medical report. Grace Bello had been suffering from a heart condition. The stress of that night had accelerated her illness. She died 4 years later. In London. Alone except for her daughter. Minute Jun's hand shook. The glass of whiskey finally moved. He drained it in one swallow. Then threw it against the wall. His mother had destroyed everything. And Mia had spent 9 years believing he was part of it. The following morning. Minute Jun stood in his mother's garden. She was 73 now. Frailer than he remembered. But her eyes remained sharp. Cold. Calculating. Minute Jun. She smiled. You never visit without reason. Mia Bello is in Seoul. His mother's smile faded. That name. You remember it. I remember a distraction. A maid's daughter who would have ruined your future. Minute Jun stepped closer. His shadow fell across his mother's chair. You threatened them. I protected you. You destroyed them. I removed an obstacle. His voice dropped to something barely human. Her mother died. 4 years ago. Her heart gave out from years of stress and poverty. Stress you caused. His mother's expression flickered. Just for a moment. Then hardened again. Unfortunate. But necessary. Minute Jun's tattooed hand gripped the arm of his mother's chair. The serpent seemed to coil tighter. If you interfere with Mia again, if you speak to her, threaten her, or so much as breathe in her direction, I will dismantle everything you care about. Every charity. Every social position. Every ally you've cultivated over 50 years. I will burn it all. You would threaten your own mother? You stopped being my mother the night you sent her away. He straightened. Turned. Walked away without looking back. His mother's hands trembled in her lap. But her eyes remained cold. Meanwhile, Mia stood in her hotel room. A package had arrived. No return address. Inside, a folder. Inside the folder, documents. Medical records. Financial statements. Photographs. And a letter in familiar handwriting. Dearest Mia. If you are reading this, I am gone. There are things I never told you. Things I was too ashamed to admit. The night we left the Kang estate, I was given a choice. Leave quietly and receive enough money to start over. Or stay and watch everything I loved be destroyed. I chose you. I chose to protect you. But there was a cost. They made me promise never to contact Minute June. Never to tell you the truth. Never to return to Seoul. I kept that promise. But Minute Jun never sent us away. His mother did. He didn't know. I believe he looked for us, but I had to disappear completely to keep you safe. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you before. I'm sorry I let you believe he abandoned us. He didn't. He loved you, my darling. And I think he still does. Find your truth. Find your peace. And if you can, find your way back to him. All my love, Mama. Mia's legs gave out. She collapsed onto the bed. The letter crumpled in her shaking hands. Everything. Everything she believed. Everything she built her walls around. Lies. Her mother had been protecting her. Minute Jun had been searching for her. And she had spent 9 years hating the wrong person. She wept. For her mother. For herself. For the boy in the rain who never stopped waiting. Several hours later, Mia found herself outside Kang Tower. Midnight. The building rose like a black monolith against the city lights. She didn't know what she was doing. She only knew she couldn't wait until morning. Security stopped her at the entrance. The building is closed. Tell Chairman Kang that Mia Bello needs to see him. The guard hesitated. Spoke into his radio. Paused. Then stepped aside. He's expecting you. The private elevator rose 63 floors. Mia's heart pounded. The doors opened. His penthouse office was all glass and shadow. Seoul glittered below like scattered diamonds. And there he stood. Silhouetted against the window. His shirt untucked. His sleeves rolled up. The serpent tattoo visible across his forearm. You came. His voice was quiet. I received a package. I know. She stared at him. You sent it? Your mother gave it to my investigator years ago. She asked him to hold it until the right time. Why now? Because you're finally ready to hear the truth. Mia walked closer. Her voice broke. I thought you abandoned us. I would never. I thought you knew what your mother did. I didn't. Not until 3 days ago. I hated you for 9 years. I know. I built my entire life around that hatred. I know. She stopped 3 feet away. How do we come back from that? He closed the distance. His hands cupped her face gently. We don't go back. We go forward. Together. A tear slipped down her cheek. His thumb caught it. I'm still angry. I know. I'm still hurt. I know. I don't know if I can trust you. Then let me earn it. Every day. For the rest of my life. She searched his eyes. The boy was still there. Beneath the power. Beneath the danger. Beneath the empire. The boy who taught her Korean poetry. The boy who gave her this pendant. The boy who watched her disappear into the rain. Minute June. His name on her lips after 9 years. Something broke in his expression. Something raw. Vulnerable. Human. He pulled her close. And for the first time in 9 years, Mia let herself be held. What would you have done in Mia's place? Would you have forgiven him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And tell me, where are you watching from tonight? I'd love to know which countries are following this story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another Afro Korean romance. The following week. News of Kang Minute Jun's involvement in the Han River project spread through Seoul's elite circles. But another rumor followed. The chairman had been seen with the Nigerian designer. Multiple times. In private. At the prestigious Seoul Grand Hotel, a private meeting convened. 4 of Korea's most powerful families. The Parks, the Chois, the Hwangs, the Lees, old rivals of the Kangs. Mrs. Park Jin-hee spoke first. The maid's daughter has returned. And Kang Minute-jun seems attached. Mr. Choi, Soo-hyun's father, nodded slowly. My son has been watching them. There's history there. Deep history. Mrs. Hwang leaned forward. If Minute-jun legitimizes this woman, it shifts the balance. The Kang family's reputation would suffer. His mother would be humiliated. His mother already opposes the relationship, Mr. Lee added. Perhaps we can use that. Silence fell. Calculations were made. Alliances considered. Mrs. Park smiled coldly. The maid's daughter rose above her station once before. We made sure she fell. We can do it again. Meanwhile, Soo-hyun received a call from his father. The families have decided. We need that woman away from Minute-jun. By any means necessary. And if she won't go willingly? Then we find what she values most. And we take it. Soo-hyun's expression hardened. He had genuinely liked Mia. Her intelligence. Her resilience. Her quiet fire. But family came first. Business came first. And Kang Minute-jun needed to fall. 2 days later, Mia's office received an anonymous delivery. A folder of photographs. Mia with Minute-jun on the terrace. Mia entering Kang Tower at midnight. Mia leaving at dawn. A typed note accompanied them. Leave Seoul within 48 hours. Or these photos reach every media outlet in Korea. The maid's daughter sleeping with the chairman? Your reputation will never recover. Neither will your career. Mia's hands trembled. Not from fear. From rage. She had been threatened before. She had been underestimated before. She had been dismissed as just a maid's daughter her entire life. And she had survived every single time. She picked up her phone. Called Minute-jun. We have a problem. Within the hour. Minute-jun sat across from her in her office. The photographs spread between them. His expression revealed nothing. But his tattooed knuckles whitened against the armrest. Soo-hyun's family, he said quietly. They've been watching. They want me gone. They want me weakened. You're just the tool they've chosen. Mia met his eyes. I won't run. Not again. I'm not asking you to. Then what are you asking? He leaned forward. Trust me. Let me handle this. Let me protect you the way I should have 9 years ago. She studied him. The boy she loved had become a man who commanded fear. But beneath the power, his eyes held the same promise. Okay, she whispered. I trust you. Something shifted in his expression. Relief? Gratitude? Love? Perhaps all three. Then let them come. His voice dropped to something dangerous. Let them see what happens when they threaten what's mine. 3 days later. The Choi family's annual shareholders meeting. The most important event on their corporate calendar. 300 of Korea's most influential business figures gathered in the Grand Hyatt's ballroom. Mr. Choi stood at the podium. Confident. Prepared. Victorious. Their stock had risen 20% that quarter. New shipping contracts had been secured. Everything was perfect. Then the screens flickered. His presentation disappeared. New images appeared. Documents. Financial records. Photographs. The Choi family's hidden accounts. Tax evasion spanning 2 decades. Illegal shipments through Southeast Asian ports. Bribes to government officials. Gasps rippled through the room. Mr. Choi's face drained of color. Turn it off. Turn it off now. But the screens wouldn't respond. The evidence kept rolling. Page after page. Crime after crime. At the back of the room, a single figure watched. Park Jae-sung. He spoke quietly into his phone. It's done, sir. On the other end, Kang Minute-jun's voice was ice. Good. Now the Parks. 2 hours later. Mrs. Park Jin-hee received an urgent call. Her charity foundation, her pride, her legacy, was under investigation. Anonymous tips had reached the National Tax Service. Evidence of funds misappropriation. Evidence of money laundering through charity galas. Her hands shook. Who did this? She already knew. The Hwangs received notice that their construction permits had been revoked. Safety violations. Bribery allegations. Their entire development portfolio frozen. The Lees discovered their banking partners had severed all relationships. Without explanation. Without warning. Within 72 hours, the 4 families who had threatened Mia found themselves under siege. Their secrets exposed. Their empires crumbling. Their power evaporating. And through it all, Kang Minute-jun said nothing publicly. He didn't need to. The black serpent had struck. And everyone knew it. Meanwhile, Soo-hyun sat in his office, watching his family's destruction in real time. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. You targeted the wrong woman. Minute-jun's voice. Quiet. Controlled. Terrifying. This was a warning. The next time won't be. The line went dead. Soo-hyun stared at his phone. For the first time in his life, he understood true fear. That evening, Mia stood on the terrace of Minute-jun's penthouse. Seoul spread below like a galaxy of lights. She felt him approach before she heard him. It's done, he said quietly. I heard. They won't bother you again. You destroyed 4 families in 3 days. Yes. She turned to face him. You could have negotiated. Found a peaceful solution. They threatened you. His voice hardened. There was no peaceful solution. Minute-jun. Listen to me. He stepped closer. I have done terrible things in my life. Things I can never undo. But everything I am, everything I've built, means nothing if I can't protect you. His hand rose to her face. His thumb traced her cheekbone. The serpent tattoo curled along his wrist. You are not just the maid's daughter, Mia. You never were. And anyone who treats you as less than extraordinary will answer to me. Tears filled her eyes. I don't need you to fight my battles. I know. You fought alone for 9 years. But you don't have to anymore. She pressed her forehead to his chest. His arms wrapped around her. Solid. Warm. Safe. For the first time in 9 years, Mia felt like she was home. 1 week later. The Kang estate. Minute-jun's mother sat in her private study. Her son's betrayal burned in her chest. He had chosen the maid's daughter. Over family. Over legacy. Over everything she had built. She could not allow it. She would not allow it. Her hands reached for her phone. The next morning, Mia received a formal invitation. Mrs. Kang Soo-hyun requests the pleasure of your company for afternoon tea. The Kang estate. 3 p.m. Mia's blood ran cold. The woman who had destroyed her mother's life. The woman who had sent them into exile. The woman who had lied to her own son. She could refuse. She should refuse. But something in her refused to be afraid. Not anymore. She accepted. The Kang estate hadn't changed. The same marble floors. The same towering ceilings. The same cold elegance that had made young Mia feel invisible. But Mia had changed. She walked through the entrance hall with her head high. Her burgundy coat swept behind her. Her heels clicked with quiet confidence. The servant who greeted her paused. Miss Bello? Yes. He stared. Then bowed deeply. Please follow me. Mrs. Kang waited in the conservatory, surrounded by orchids and silence. She looked older than Mia remembered, but no less formidable. Sit. Mia Saturday. Tea was poured. Neither woman drank. You've grown, Mrs. Kang observed. More polished than I expected. Time has a way of refining people. Or destroying them. Your mother, for instance. Mia's fingers tightened around her cup. But her voice remained steady. My mother was the strongest woman I ever knew. She raised me alone. She built a new life from nothing. She did it all while carrying a broken heart because of what you did to her. Mrs. Kang's expression flickered. I did what was necessary. You did what was cruel. I protected my son. You lied to your son. For 9 years. And now that he knows the truth, you've lost him anyway. Silence. Heavy. Dangerous. Mrs. Kang set down her cup. What do you want, Miss Bello? I want nothing from you. Then why did you come? Because I needed you to see me. Not the maid's daughter you dismissed. Not the obstacle you removed. Me. The woman I became despite everything you tried to do. Mia stood. Your son loves me. And I love him. Nothing you do will change that. Threaten me again, and I will tell the world exactly what kind of woman you are. Every newspaper. Every television station. Every social media platform. The Kang family's pristine reputation will shatter. She walked toward the door. Then paused. My mother forgave you. Before she died, she told me to find peace. So I won't destroy you, Mrs. Kang. But I won't let you destroy us either. She left without looking back. Mrs. Kang sat alone in the conservatory. For the first time in decades, her hands trembled. Not from anger. From something else. Something she hadn't felt in years. Shame. Later that evening, Minute Jun found Mia on his penthouse terrace. She told him everything. Every word his mother had said. Every word she had said in return. He listened in silence. His jaw tight. His eyes dark. When she finished, he pulled her close. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. She's my mother. She's also a woman who made terrible choices out of fear. I can hate what she did without needing you to apologize for it. He pressed his lips to her forehead. How did you become so strong? I had no choice. You always had a choice. You just always chose courage. She looked up at him. What happens now? Now we live our lives. Together. In whatever way you'll let me. Mia smiled for the first time in weeks. I think I'd like that. The following month. Mia's work on the Han River project consumed her days. But her evenings belonged to Minute Jun. He would appear at her office precisely at 7. Never later. Never earlier. He would watch her work for a few minutes. Silent. Patient. Then take her to dinner. Sometimes they went to elegant restaurants where waiters bowed and whispered. Sometimes they went to tiny street food stalls where no one recognized them. Mia preferred the stalls. You're worth $50 billion, she said one evening, biting into tteokbokki. And you're eating street food on a plastic stool. I'm eating street food with you. That makes it priceless. She laughed. The sound hit him like sunlight. He had never heard her laugh as an adult. Only remembered the childish giggles from the estate garden. This laugh was fuller. Richer. More beautiful. He wanted to spend the rest of his life earning it. Several weeks later. They walked along the Han River. The city lights reflected on the water. Her hand was in his. His tattooed fingers intertwined with hers. My mother would have loved to see this, Mia said quietly. She always dreamed of coming back. Of proving everyone wrong. She's here. Minute Jun squeezed her hand. Through you. Every time you succeed, she succeeds. Every time you rise, she rises with you. Tears glistened in Mia's eyes. How do you always know what to say? I spent 9 years learning how to speak to you. The words just waited for you to come back. She stopped walking. Turned to face him. The river sparkled behind her. The wind caught her hair. She was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. Kang Minute Jun. Yes? I'm still scared. Of what? Of losing you again. He cupped her face. His thumbs wiped away the tears that escaped. You won't. I promise. Whatever comes, whoever comes, we face it together. I am not letting you go. Not now. Not ever. He kissed her. Softly at first. Then deeper. 9 years of longing poured into the space between them. When they finally pulled apart, both were breathless. Take me home, she whispered. Your hotel? No. Your home. Our home. His heart stopped. Then thundered. He took her hand. And led her toward the lights of the city. The screen fades to black. If this story is touching your heart, please let me know in the comments. Where are you watching from? I'd love to hear from every country supporting this beautiful journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. 2 months passed. Mia moved into Minute Jun's penthouse. Not because he asked. Because she wanted to. Her designs filled the space. Warm touches against his cold elegance. African textiles alongside Korean minimalism. Color against shadow. Life against silence. He had never felt more at home in his own house. The Han River project progressed beautifully. Mia's vision took shape on the banks of the river. A cultural center that would honor Korea's heritage while embracing global perspectives. Just as she had promised. Critics who had dismissed the maid's daughter now praised her brilliance. The same people who had whispered cruelties now requested meetings. The same families who had tried to destroy her now sought her favor. Mia accepted none of it. She remembered every slight. Every sneer. Every whispered insult. But she chose grace over bitterness. Her mother had taught her that. Meanwhile, Minute Jun stepped back from the shadows of his empire. Not entirely. Never entirely. But he appointed trusted lieutenants. Delegated the darkness. Made space for light. His nights were no longer spent in midnight meetings and silent violence. His nights were spent with her. Reading together in the study. Cooking together in the kitchen. lying together on the terrace, watching Seoul sleep. For the first time in his adult life, Kang Minit-jun knew peace. But peace, he knew, never lasted. One evening, a message arrived on Minit-jun's secure phone. From Jae-sung. Sir. We have a problem. Someone is moving against us. Unknown party. Targeting our operations. They know things they shouldn't know. Minit-jun's expression hardened. The serpent tattoo seemed to pulse beneath his collar. He glanced toward the bedroom where Mia slept. Then typed his response. Find them. Now. The following morning. Minit-jun kissed Mia goodbye like he did every morning. But something was different. She felt it. What's wrong? Business complications. Nothing you need to worry about. Minit-jun. He paused at the door. I know when you're lying, she said quietly. I've always known. He returned to her. Took her face in his hands. There are parts of my world I never want touching you. Parts I've worked my entire life to separate from anything good. Let me protect you from those parts. Please. She searched his eyes. Found fear there. Not for himself. For her. Okay, she whispered. But promise me you'll come home. I always will. Always. He kissed her once more. Then walked into the darkness that waited. 3 days later. Jae-sung delivered his report. We found the source. The leak came from inside. Someone in your inner circle. Who? Jae-sung hesitated. Your mother's former assistant. She's been feeding information to a rival organization. The Kim Syndicate. The Kim Syndicate. Old enemies. Minit-jun's father had nearly destroyed them decades ago. Now they were rising again. They're not just targeting operations, Jae-sung continued. They're targeting you personally. Your reputation. Your business. Your. Say it. Your woman. Minit-jun went still. Completely still. The kind of stillness that preceded violence. Where are they now? We're tracking them. No. Where are they now? This moment. Jae-sung's face paled. Sir. Where? The black serpent had awakened. That night. A warehouse on Seoul's outskirts. Minit-jun walked through the door alone. No guards. No backup. Just him. 12 men waited inside. Armed. Ready. They weren't ready for him. 20 minutes later. Minit-jun stood among the fallen. His shirt torn. Blood on his knuckles, not all of it his. The serpent tattoo visible through the ruined fabric. He grabbed the leader by the collar. Tell your masters something for me. The man whimpered. The woman is mine. Touch her, look at her, speak her name, and I will erase the Kim Syndicate from existence. Every member. Every asset. Every memory. Do you understand? Why yes. Good. He dropped the man. Walked out. Disappeared into the night. Meanwhile, Mia waited at the penthouse. Unable to sleep. Unable to focus. The door opened at 3 a.m. Minit-jun walked in. Covered in shadows. Smelling of blood and rain. She ran to him. Minit-jun. What happened? You're hurt. I'm fine. You're not fine. Mia. He caught her hands. I'm fine. I promise. She looked at him. Really looked. This was the man she loved. The chairman. The criminal. The protector. All of him. Don't shut me out, she whispered. Whatever this is, don't carry it alone. His forehead dropped to hers. There are people who want to hurt you because of me. I know. I can't let that happen. I know that too. Then let me do what I must. She pulled back slightly. Met his eyes. I am not a fragile thing to be protected, Minit-jun. I survived exile. I survived poverty. I survived grief. I survived 9 years of believing the man I loved had betrayed me. Whatever threatens us, we face it together. That's what partnership means. He stared at her. This woman who had walked through fire and emerged unbroken. This woman who challenged him even now. This woman he loved beyond reason. Together, he agreed finally. Always together. She kissed him. Fierce. Demanding. Alive. Whatever was coming, they would face it as one. The Kim Syndicate did not heed the warning. They had tasted blood in the water. They wanted more. 2 weeks later. Mia arrived at her project site to find chaos. Construction materials destroyed. Equipment sabotaged. Workers frightened. Painted across the main wall in red. Go back to where you belong, Maid's daughter. Mia's blood ran cold. Then hot. She called Minute Jun. 20 minutes later, his convoy arrived. He walked through the destruction with controlled fury. His eyes missed nothing. His expression revealed nothing. But the tattoo on his neck seemed to writhe with contained violence. This was the Kims, Jae-sung confirmed quietly. A message. To me? To both of you. They're saying no place is safe. Mia stood beside the painted message. Her hands shook. Not from fear. From rage. They want me to run, she said quietly. Again. Yes. I won't. I know. She turned to face the workers who had gathered nervously. Everyone, please take the day off with full pay. We'll resume tomorrow. Confused murmurs. Tomorrow? Yes. Tomorrow. This project doesn't stop. Not for threats. Not for vandalism. Not for anything. Is that clear? Slowly, the workers nodded. One by one, they saw something in her eyes. Steel. Resolve. Leadership. They began to disperse. Minute Jun watched her with something approaching awe. You could have cancelled the project, he said quietly when they were alone. And let them win? Never. They'll try again. Let them. I've survived worse than paint and broken machinery. He pulled her close. Right there, in front of the destruction. Right there, in front of the painted insult. I love you, he said. It was the first time he had said it aloud. Mia's breath caught. You've never. I know. I should have said it years ago. I should have said it on that balcony in the rain. I should have shouted it so loud you could hear me at the gate. But I was young and afraid and stupid. I'm not anymore. He tilted her chin up. I love you, Mia bellowed. I have loved you since you were the maid's daughter who taught me to laugh. I will love you until the last breath leaves my body. And no one, not my mother, not the Kims, not the entire world, will take you from me again. Tears streamed down her face. I love you too. I've always loved you. Even when I hated you, I loved you. They kissed amid the wreckage. Two souls finally found. Two hearts finally whole. The threat remained. The danger was real. But in that moment, nothing else existed. Only them. Only this. Only forever. We have reached the emotional cliffhanger of Batch 1. What do you think will happen next? Will Minute Jun and Mia survive the coming storm? Will his mother finally accept their love? Will the Kim syndicate succeed in tearing them apart? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Tell me where you're watching from. I read every single comment and love connecting with viewers from all around the world. If this story has touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps bring more Afro Korean romance stories to life. The attack came 3 nights later. Not at the construction site. Not at Kang Tower. At the penthouse. Their home. Mia woke to the sound of shattering glass. Darkness surrounded her. The power had been cut. Minute Jun? The space beside her was empty. Cold. He had never come to bed. She reached for her phone. Dead. Jammed. Footsteps in the hallway. Multiple. Heavy. Not Minute Jun's. Mia's heart hammered. But her mind stayed clear. She had survived worse. She would survive this. She slipped from the bed silently. Moved toward the panic room Minute Jun had insisted on installing. 3 weeks ago, she had thought it excessive. Now she understood. The bedroom door burst open. 3 masked figures rushed in. Mia ran. She made it to the hallway before strong arms grabbed her. She fought. Kicked. Screamed. A cloth covered her mouth. Sweet chemical smell. Her vision blurred. Her limbs weakened. The last thing she saw was the serpent tattoo on her attacker's wrist. Not Minute Jun's serpent. A different one. A rival mark. Then darkness. Meanwhile, across the city, Minute Jun sat in an emergency meeting with his lieutenants. A false alarm had drawn him away. A distraction. He realized it too late. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. A video message. He opened it. Mia. Unconscious. Bound to a chair. A warehouse he didn't recognize. A distorted voice spoke. Chairman Kang. You took something from us years ago. Now we take something from you. If you want her alive, you will transfer control of your shipping routes to us. You have 24 hours. The video ended. Minute Jun's hand crushed the phone. Plastic cracked. Glass shattered. Blood dripped from his palm. His men stared in terrified silence. They had never seen him lose control. Never. Find her. His voice was barely human. Find her now. They scattered. Jae-sung alone remained. Sir. Your hand. I don't care about my hand. Minute-jun's eyes burned. I care about her. Find the location. Trace the signal. Do whatever it takes. The Kims have multiple warehouses. It could take. You have 6 hours. Sir, that's not. 6 hours. Jae-sung bowed. Disappeared. Minute-jun stood alone in the conference room. Blood dripping. Heart shattered. He had promised to protect her. He had promised she would never be hurt because of him. He had failed. His fist slammed into the wall. Once. Twice. 3 times. The serpent tattoo on his knuckles split open. He didn't feel it. He felt nothing except the consuming terror of losing her. If you were Minute-jun, what would you do? Would you negotiate? Or would you burn everything down to save her? Let me know in the comments. Mia woke slowly. Her head throbbed. Her wrists burned from rough rope. Cold concrete pressed against her feet. She opened her eyes. A warehouse. Industrial. Abandoned. 3 men watched her from across the room. Their faces uncovered now. They didn't expect her to survive to identify them. She's awake, one said. Good. The chairman should see fear in her eyes. Mia forced her breathing to steady. Fear would not help her. Panic would not save her. Only clarity. Only strength. You're making a mistake, she said quietly. The men laughed. The maid's daughter thinks she can negotiate. I'm not negotiating. I'm warning you. Warning us? You're tied to a chair. And you've taken something that belongs to Kang Minute-jun. Do you understand what that means? The laughter faded slightly. He'll come for me, Mia continued. And when he does, he won't negotiate. He won't show mercy. He will destroy everything you love. Everyone you've ever cared about. Every trace of your existence. That's not a threat. That's a fact. Silence. Then the leader stepped forward. Grabbed her chin roughly. Let him come. We're counting on it. Mia met his eyes without flinching. You should have killed me immediately. Every moment you wait, your chances of survival decrease. He's already hunting you. And the black serpent doesn't stop until his prey is dead. The man's grip tightened. But something flickered in his eyes. Doubt. Fear. He released her. Step back. Increase perimeter security. Now. His men scrambled. Mia allowed herself a small breath. She had bought time. Now she needed to buy more. Several hours later. The warehouse door creaked open. A new figure entered. Mia's blood froze. Choi Se-hyun. He walked toward her slowly. His easy smile gone. Something cold in its place. Mia. He crouched before her. I'm sorry it came to this. You're behind this. Behind it? No. The Kims approached my family after Minute-jun's little demonstration. They needed resources. We needed Minute-jun weakened. Mutual interests. Mia stared at him. You seem so genuine. I genuinely liked you. He shrugged. But business is business. The Kang Empire has dominated for too long. It's time for a change. By kidnapping an innocent woman? By using the only leverage that matters. Minute-jun would sacrifice his entire empire for you. Everyone knows that. It's his greatest weakness. Mia's jaw tightened. He'll kill you for this. He'll try. But by the time this is over, he'll have nothing left to fight with. Se-hyun stood. Straightened his expensive jacket. For what it's worth, I hope you survive this. You're an extraordinary woman, Mia. You deserved better than being caught between empires. He walked away. The door closed behind him. Mia let the tears fall. Not from weakness. From rage. She had trusted him. Worked with him. Considered him a colleague. And he had been planning this all along. But the tears dried quickly. She had no time for grief. Only survival. Her eyes scanned the warehouse. Looking for anything. Any weakness. Any opportunity. She found one. 5 hours. That's how long it took Jae-sung to locate the warehouse. Minute-jun moved immediately. No negotiation. No planning committees. No mercy. 30 of his most trusted men. Armed. Silent. Deadly. They surrounded the warehouse at 3 a.m. The darkest hour. Minute-jun walked toward the main entrance. Alone. just as they expected. But behind him, shadows moved. Positioning. Waiting. The warehouse doors opened. Minute Jun stepped inside. 12 guns pointed at him. The Kim Syndicate's best fighters. And in the center of the room, Mia. Bound. Bruised. But alive. Her eyes found his immediately. Something passed between them. 9 years of separation. Months of reunion. And now this. The moment that would define everything. Chairman Kang. The Kim leader stepped forward. You came alone. How touching. Release her. First, the contracts. Sign over your shipping routes. No. Then she dies. A gun pressed against Mia's temple. Minute Jun's expression didn't change. But his hand moved slightly. A signal. The warehouse lights cut out. Chaos erupted. Gunfire. Shouts. Bodies falling. Minute Jun moved through the darkness like smoke. He had trained for this. Lived for this. Become this. 3 men fell before they could aim. 2 more before they could scream. His men poured in from every entrance. The Kim fighters were surrounded. Outnumbered. Outmatched. Within minutes, it was over. The lights returned. Bodies littered the floor. None of them were Mia's. Minute Jun reached her. Cut her bonds with a blade from his sleeve. Pulled her into his arms. Are you hurt? I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Stop. She gripped his face. You came. That's all that matters. You came. He crushed her against him. His body trembling. The great black serpent, trembling. I thought I lost you, he whispered. I thought. I'm here. I'm right here. They held each other amid the destruction. Alive. Together. Unbroken. Then Mia pulled back slightly. Soo-hyun. He was here. His part of this. Minute Jun's eyes darkened. I know. What will you do? He looked at her. The woman he had almost lost. The woman who meant more than empire. More than power. More than life itself. What I should have done the moment he looked at you. 2 days later. Choi Soo-hyun sat in his family's private study. Celebrating. The Kim Syndicate had failed, yes. But the chaos would weaken Kang Minute Jun. The plan was still working. The door opened. His father entered. Face pale. Hands shaking. What's wrong? It's over. What do you mean? Everything. Our accounts, frozen. Our ships, seized. Our government contacts, silent. We're finished. Soo-hyun stood slowly. That's not possible. We have nothing. Kang Minute Jun destroyed us. In 48 hours. While you were celebrating, he was dismantling everything we built. The door opened again. Kang Minute Jun walked in. No guards. No weapons. Just him. His suit was immaculate. His expression unreadable. The serpent tattoo visible above his collar. Mr. Choi. He nodded to the elder. You may leave. I have business with your son. Mr. Choi fled without a word. Soo-hyun faced Minute Jun alone. If you're going to kill me, just do it. Kill you? Minute Jun circled him slowly. That would be too easy. Too quick. You touched something precious to me. You helped plan her kidnapping. You stood before her while she was bound and helpless. He stopped. Faced Soo-hyun directly. Death is mercy. I don't feel merciful. Soo-hyun's confidence cracked. What are you going to do? I'm going to let you live. You'll watch your family lose everything. Your father will die in poverty. Your mother will spend her final years in shame. Every door will close. Every friend will vanish. Every dream will rot. He leaned closer. And every morning when you wake, you'll remember why. You'll remember the woman you helped hurt. You'll remember the man you betrayed. You'll remember that you brought this on yourself. Minute Jun straightened. That is your punishment. A lifetime of knowing. A lifetime of remembering. A lifetime of regret. He walked toward the door. Paused. If you ever speak her name again, if you ever come within 100 meters of her, the mercy ends. Do you understand? Soo-hyun nodded mutely. Minute Jun left. Behind him, Choi Soo-hyun collapsed into a chair. The future he had imagined, power, wealth, influence, crumbled before his eyes. All because of one woman. All because of one choice. He would spend the rest of his life paying for it. 1 month later. The penthouse had been repaired. The glass replaced. The security tripled. But the scars remained. Mia woke from nightmares. The warehouse. The rope. The gun against her temple. Minute Jun held her each time. Silent. Patient. Present. I hate feeling weak, she whispered one night. You're not weak. You survived. I froze. When they grabbed me, I froze. And then you talked your way into buying time. You stayed calm. You gave them doubt. You survived until I could reach you. That's not weakness. That's strength. She pressed her face into his chest. His heart beat steady beneath her ear. I keep thinking, what if you hadn't come? I will always come. Always. You can't promise that. I just did. She pulled back. Looked at him. The man who had torn apart empires for her. The man who had walked into that warehouse alone. The man who loved her beyond reason. I don't want to be afraid anymore, she said. What do you need? I don't know. Time, maybe. Therapy, definitely. And... She hesitated. I need to feel like myself again. Like the woman who built a career from nothing. Not the victim tied to a chair. Minute Jun cupped her face. Then we start there. Whatever you need. However long it takes. I'm not going anywhere. She kissed him softly. Gratitude. Love. Hope. Neither am I. The following morning. Mia returned to her project site. The workers gathered nervously. They had heard about the kidnapping. Everyone had heard. Mia stood before them. Steady. Strong. I know there have been rumors. Yes, I was taken. Yes, I was hurt. But I am here. This project is here. And we have work to do. She looked at each face. Anyone who wants to leave, I understand. No judgment. But for those who stay, let's build something beautiful. Something that proves no one can stop us. Not through threats. Not through violence. Not through fear. Silence. Then one worker began clapping. Another joined. Another. Soon the entire site rang with applause. Mia smiled. The first real smile since the warehouse. She was still healing. But she was not broken. She would never be broken. What a moment of strength. If you're loving Mia's resilience, drop a fire in the comments. And tell me, where are you watching from today? I want to see which countries are supporting this story. 3 weeks later. An unexpected visitor arrived at the penthouse. Mrs. Kang Soo-yeon. Minute Jun's mother. She looked older than before. Smaller. Something in her eyes had changed. I heard what happened, she said quietly. The kidnapping. Yes. Is Miss Bello all right? Minute Jun studied his mother. Looking for the trap. The manipulation. The scheme. He found only an old woman. Alone. Afraid. She's healing. Slowly. Good. That's good. Silence stretched between them. Why are you here, mother? Mrs. Kang's hands trembled. She clutched them together. I've done terrible things. To that girl. To her mother. To you. I told myself I was protecting our family. Protecting our legacy. But I was only protecting my pride. A tear slipped down her weathered cheek. Her mother died, Minute June. That woman, Grace, she died carrying the weight of what I did to her. And her daughter nearly died because enemies saw her as your weakness. A weakness I helped create by driving her away years ago. She looked up at her son. I cannot undo what I've done. I cannot bring Grace back. I cannot erase the years of pain. But I can. I can try to be different. If you'll let me. Minute Jun said nothing. His jaw tight. His eyes unreadable. I want to apologize to Miss Bello. Properly. In person. Will you allow that? He considered. Every instinct told him to refuse. To protect Mia from this woman who had caused so much harm. But Mia's words echoed in his mind. My mother forgave you. She told me to find peace. I'll ask her, he said finally. The choice is hers. Mrs. Kang nodded. Thank you, my son. That's all I ask. She turned to leave. Paused at the door. She's worthy of you. I see that now. She's worthy of everything. Then she was gone. That evening. Minute Jun told Mia about his mother's visit. Mia listened in silence. Processing. Weighing. Do you believe she's sincere? She asked finally. I don't know. She spent 70 years manipulating everyone around her. It could be another scheme. But you don't think it is? He paused. No. I think. I think nearly losing you showed her something. Showed her what her actions ultimately lead to. Maybe it broke through. Mia nodded slowly. I'll see her. You don't have to. I know. But my mother wanted me to find peace. Carrying hatred forever isn't peace. It's a prison. She took his hand. I'll hear what she has to say. And then I'll decide. Minute Jun pressed his lips to her forehead. Have I told you lately how extraordinary you are? Only every day. It's not enough. She smiled. It's exactly enough. 2 days later. The Kang estate. Mia walked through the same doors she had fled through 9 years ago. But everything was different now. She wasn't a frightened girl. She was a woman who had survived exile, grief, rebuilding, success, kidnapping, and recovery. She was a woman who had earned her place in the world. Mrs. Kang waited in the same conservatory. The same orchids. The same silence. But the woman herself had changed. Miss Bello. She rose with difficulty. Thank you for coming. Mrs. Kang. They sat across from each other. Tea was poured. Neither touched it. I practiced what I would say, Mrs. Kang began. I wrote speeches. Rehearsed apologies. But now that you're here. She shook her head. Words seem inadequate. Mia waited. Your mother was a good woman. Better than I ever acknowledged. She worked hard. She loved you fiercely. She deserved dignity, and I gave her humiliation. She deserved security, and I gave her exile. She deserved peace, and I gave her fear. Tears gathered in the old woman's eyes. I cannot ask her forgiveness. She's gone. But I can ask yours. I know I don't deserve it. I know words mean nothing against years of suffering. But I am sorry, Miss Bello. Truly. Deeply. Sorry. Mia let the words settle. The anger she had carried for so long felt lighter somehow. Not gone. But lighter. My mother wrote me a letter before she died, Mia said quietly. She told me to find peace. She told me she had already forgiven you. Mrs. Kang's breath caught. She forgave you even though you destroyed her life. Because she understood that carrying hatred would only destroy me. So she let it go. Mia met the old woman's eyes. I'm not ready to forgive you. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I am ready to stop hating you. I am ready to let go of the past and focus on building a future. Not for your sake, for mine. And for Minute Jun's. Mrs. Kang nodded slowly. That is more than I deserve. Yes. It is. Mia stood. One more thing, Mrs. Kang. I am not going anywhere. I love your son. He loves me. And we will spend our lives together, whether you accept it or not. She straightened her shoulders. But if you can accept it, truly accept it, then perhaps, someday, we can be more than enemies. Perhaps we can be family. She walked toward the door. Mrs. Kang's voice stopped her. My son has never been happier. In his entire life. You did that. You brought him peace. You brought him home. Her voice broke. Thank you for loving him when I made it so difficult. Mia turned. Saw the broken old woman in the chair. Saw the loneliness. The regret. The desperate hope. Goodbye, Mrs. Kang. She left the estate. But something had shifted. Something had begun to heal. Not fully. Not yet. But beginning. 2 months later. The Han River Cultural Center was complete. Seoul had never seen anything like it. The building rose like a dream from the riverbank. Traditional Korean architecture blended seamlessly with African-inspired design elements. Hanok curves met geometric patterns from Lagos. Korean ceramics sat alongside Nigerian sculptures. East and West merged into something entirely new. Critics called it a masterpiece. Architects called it revolutionary. The world called it beautiful. And everyone knew who had designed it. Mia Bello. The maid's daughter. The opening gala drew Seoul's entire elite. The same people who had whispered about her. The same people who had dismissed her. The same people who had tried to destroy her. Now they bowed. Mia stood at the center of the grand hall. Her gown was the color of midnight. Her natural hair crowned her head like royalty. The pendant rested against her collarbone. She looked like a queen. She felt like one. Beside her, Kang Minute Jun stood in a perfectly tailored black tuxedo. The serpent tattoo peeked above his collar. His hand rested on the small of her back. Possessive. Protective. Proud. Ladies and gentlemen. The MC's voice rang out. Please welcome our guest of honor, the visionary designer behind this magnificent achievement, Miss Mia Bello. Applause thundered. Mia stepped to the podium. Looked out at the sea of faces. Found the ones that mattered. Minute Jun, watching her with love in his eyes. Her project team, beaming with pride. And in the back, a frail old woman in a wheelchair. Mrs. Kang. Watching. Waiting. 9 years ago, Mia began, I left Seoul with nothing. My mother and I were dismissed from this world, told we didn't belong. Told we had no value. Told we would never amount to anything. She paused. My mother died believing that perhaps they were right. That perhaps her dreams for me would never come true. Her voice caught. She steadied it. But tonight, I stand here, in a building I designed, in a city that once rejected me, surrounded by people who now celebrate my work, and I know that she was wrong. Her eyes found Minute Jun's. We were never worthless. We were never less than. We were always enough. We just needed the world to see what we already knew. She lifted her chin. This building is dedicated to my mother, Grace Bello. She taught me that dignity cannot be taken, only given away. She taught me that strength comes from within, not from circumstances. She taught me that love survives everything, even exile, even grief, even death. Tears streamed down her face. She let them. Mama, if you can see this, we made it. We finally made it. The applause that followed was deafening. Later that evening, the gala continued inside. But Minute Jun led Mia to the terrace overlooking the Han River. The water reflected a million lights. The air was crisp with approaching winter. They were alone. You were magnificent, he said quietly. I was terrified. You were magnificent anyway. That's what courage is. She smiled. I couldn't have done any of this without you. You did all of it despite me. Despite my family. Despite everything. We did it together. That's what matters. He turned to face her. Something in his expression shifted. Became vulnerable. Human. Mia. Yes? He reached into his pocket. Pulled out a small velvet box. Her breath stopped. I've loved you since I was a boy watching you read in my father's library. I've loved you across oceans, across years, across silence. I've loved you when I thought you were lost forever. I've loved you even when I didn't deserve to. He opened the box. A ring gleamed inside. Simple. Elegant. A single diamond surrounded by smaller emeralds. I had this made for you. The emeralds are from your mother's homeland. The diamond is from mine. Together. Like us. He knelt. The black serpent of Korea's underworld. Kneeling before the maid's daughter. Will you marry me, Mia Bello? Will you let me spend the rest of my life proving that I was always yours? Mia looked at him. The boy who had given her a pendant in the rain. The man who had torn apart empires to save her. Her past. Her present. Her future. Yes, she whispered. Then louder. Yes. He slipped the ring onto her finger. Rose. Pulled her into his arms. Kissed her like the world was ending. Like the world was beginning. Inside, through the glass, someone noticed. A gasp. Then whispers. Then applause. The entire gala watched as Kang Minute Jun held his fiancée against the backdrop of the Han River. The Mafia boss and the maid's daughter. No longer hiding. No longer ashamed. No longer separated by the walls others had built. Together. Forever. If you're crying right now, you're not alone. Drop a ring in the comments if you felt that moment in your soul. We're approaching the end of this beautiful journey. Stay with me. 3 months later. Spring had come to Seoul. Cherry blossoms drifted like pink snow. The wedding was held at the Han River Cultural Center. Mia's masterpiece. The perfect setting for their beginning. The guest list was carefully curated. Not by social standing. Not by wealth. By love. Her project team. His most trusted lieutenants. A few select friends. And in the front row, Mrs. Kang. Attending her son's wedding. Watching the maid's daughter become her daughter-in-law. The ceremony blended Korean tradition with Nigerian customs. Korean drummers played alongside Nigerian drummers. Hanbok elegance met Ankara vibrancy. 2 cultures. 1 love. Mia walked down the aisle alone. Her mother's spirit walking beside her. Her pendant resting against her heart. She wore white with touches of gold. Her dress incorporated Korean silk and Nigerian Adaya patterns. She had designed it herself. Minute Jun waited at the altar. His black hanbok perfect. His serpent tattoo visible at his wrist. His eyes seeing only her. When she reached him, he took her hands. "You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen," he whispered. "You've seen me in sweatpants eating takeout. Still the most beautiful." She laughed. He smiled. The officiant began. Vows were exchanged. Promises made. Tears shed. When the officiant finally said, "You may kiss your bride," Minute Jun didn't hesitate. He pulled her close. Kissed her like the entire world was watching. Because it was. And he didn't care. The reception was filled with joy. Dancing. Laughter. Stories. Mrs. Kang approached the couple during a quiet moment. "Mia." The word still came awkwardly. "I have something for you." She pressed a small box into Mia's hands. Inside, a bracelet. Delicate. Antique. Beautiful. "This belonged to my grandmother. She gave it to my mother on her wedding day. My mother gave it to me. I never thought I would have a daughter to give it to." Her eyes glistened. "But I do now. If you'll accept it." Mia looked at the bracelet. Then at the old woman. Something shifted. The last piece of the past finally releasing. "I accept." She put on the bracelet. Mrs. Kang's tears fell. Minute Jun watched in stunned silence. Then Mia did something no one expected. She embraced her mother-in-law. Gently. Briefly. But meaningfully. "We're family now," Mia said quietly. "Let's try to act like it." Mrs. Kang nodded, unable to speak. Minute Jun pulled both women into his arms. His mother. His wife. Reconciled at last. The photographer captured the moment. 3 people who had every reason to hate each other. Choosing love instead. 1 year later. The nursery was complete. Mia had designed it herself. Soft colors. Warm textures. A blend of Korean and Nigerian elements. She stood in the doorway. One hand on her swollen belly. The other holding her husband's. "Do you think she'll like it?" Mia asked. "She'll love it. Because you made it. You're biased. Completely. Forever." She leaned against him. Outside, Seoul glittered under summer stars. The Han River Cultural Center was visible in the distance. A monument to what they had built together. "I used to dream about this," Mia said softly. "When I was a little girl in that mansion. I would dream about having my own family. My own home. My own place in the world." She looked at him. The dreams never looked like this. They were always smaller. Safer. Less. Minute Jun turned her to face him. "And now? Now I have more than I ever imagined. More love. More belonging. More purpose." She pressed her palm to his chest. Felt his heartbeat. Steady. Strong. Hers. "Thank you for never stopping. For searching when everyone else forgot. For fighting when everyone else surrendered. For loving me when it would have been easier to let go." He covered her hand with his. "I never had a choice. From the moment I saw you reading in that library, barefoot, wearing a dress 2 sizes too big, completely lost in a book, I was yours. Every day since. Every day until I die. And probably after." She smiled through tears. "I love you, Kang Minute Jun. I love you, Kang Mia." He said her married name like a prayer. Like a promise. Like a vow renewed with every breath. They stood together in the nursery. Waiting for their daughter. Waiting for the future. Waiting for everything they had earned through years of separation, pain, and redemption. The maid's daughter and the mafia boss. No longer defined by what the world called them. Only by what they chose to be. Partners. Lovers. Parents. Family. Forever. 5 years later. The Kang estate had been transformed. Gone were the cold marble and the sterile elegance. In their place, warmth. Color. Life. Children's laughter echoed through the halls. 2 daughters now. Grace Minute Ji, aged 4. Named after both grandmothers. And baby Siyun, 6 months. Named after the grandmother who had finally learned to love. Mrs. Kang had lived long enough to hold her first grandchild. She died peacefully 3 years later. In her final moments, she held Mia's hand. "Thank you," she whispered. "For forgiving an old fool. Thank you for letting me." The funeral was quiet. Private. Respectful. But after the mourners left, Mia placed 2 items in the casket. The pendant. And the bracelet. Symbols of pain transformed into symbols of reconciliation. 2 families, finally whole. Now Mia sat in the garden where she had once felt invisible. Watching her daughters play. Watching her husband pretend to be a monster while they shrieked with delighted terror. The black serpent of Korea's underworld. On his knees in the grass. Making roaring sounds. Being tackled by tiny humans. He caught her eye. Smiled. That rare, beautiful smile that was only for her. She smiled back. This was her legacy. Not the building she had designed. Not the awards she had won. Not even the barriers she had broken. This moment. This family. This love that had survived exile, hatred, violence, and time. Her mother's voice echoed in her heart. Find your truth. Find your peace. And if you can, find your way back to him. She had. She finally had. Thank you so much for watching this story until the very end. If She Was Just the Maid's Daughter touched your heart, please let me know in the comments. I pour my soul into every story, and your words mean the world to me. Tell me where you're watching from. I want to know every country that supported this journey. Whether you're in Nigeria, Korea, the United States, the UK, Brazil, India, South Africa, the Philippines, or anywhere else on this beautiful planet, you are part of this family. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another Afro Korean romance. Until next time, stay beautiful. Stay strong. Stay loved. This was She Was Just the Maid's Daughter, until the Korean Mafia boss found her 9 years later. Thank you. From my heart to yours.